If it's your work wife who knows more about you than your real wife, I would question the intensity of that relationship. Just because somebody had an affair does not mean they want to leave their marriage.
Infidelity can start in the workplace. Now, we all joke around and say work husband, work wife.
Yes.
How can that be different than what we're discussing?
Because that's your go-to person in the office, and they don't know all the things that your husband or wife don't know. They have an inside track on your emotional life, which is very different than, oh, I have to call so and so because we have to go over this project.
Right.
Or they're always there for me, but are they there for you professionally and emotionally, or professionally and, you know, there's a fine line. You don't want to be in the office just professional where you're not a real person besides that. But on the other hand, there is too much. There can be too much
Mm.
that could develop into something deeper.
So, do you think it's appropriate to have a work husband or a work wife?
That's a good question, but it depends what it means to you.
Hmm.
If it's your work wife who knows more about you than your real wife, I would question the intensity of that relationship. If it's someone who you can count on in all the ways that you need her professionally, and also you could talk about your kids or your grandchildren or your family in a, you know, not in a why am I still married sort of way.
Right.
There's a line. It's different. Sexual infidelity is so much clearer.
Right. So, a lot of times, what happened, people call me right when they find out about infidelity. They are upset. They want a divorce. They're over. But before that even happens, right? Because infidelity can be so heartbreaking and bring so much pain.
Yes.
Between the step of getting upset and calling me and finding out about the infidelity, what advice do you have for those who have just discovered it, um, and they don't know what to do outside of calling divorce attorneys?
Sometimes I used to say this a lot. I try not to anymore, but sometimes a couple or one person of the couple will call me the same day they call a divorce attorney. And
Mm-hmm.
I wish they had come sooner. Not that I could prevent the infidelity. It's a lot easier to work with a couple who want to stay together when things are difficult in their marriage, even before that happens. And calling a divorce attorney, that just turns the tide. That is the scariest thing besides the sentence, we need to talk, is I have a lawyer, you should get one. I think any major decision in our lives, any should never be made when you just find out this information. Any big, crazy, chaotic thing going on is not when you make any big decision. You need to sit with it and decide what what steps to take. Because just running to a lawyer first, you might get there anyway,
Mm-hmm.
but at least you can see what's possible before that. I think going to a divorce attorney, you're putting into place what needs to happen on the legal aspect, where
Mm-hmm.
maybe that needs to happen, but maybe not. Maybe it's too soon.
So, for those who are in between stages and are extremely fearful of what to do next,
Mhm.
what do you say to that person that doesn't know what to do? They have this information, they don't know what to do. Call you, call me, put their head in the sand. What do they do?
Well, sometimes one of the partners will call and ask and have an agreement that they'll go to couples therapy if
Hmm.
they both agree. Obviously, more often than not, one person wants to come and the other doesn't. And
Right.
usually the person who doesn't is usually the one who cheated because they feel, hopefully, shame or remorse. And it's really uncomfortable, but yet they don't want to lose their marriage. Just because somebody had an affair does not mean they want to leave their marriage. They just wanted their marriage to be what it was, and they wanted an affair. So they have to come to terms with what is possible. Both parties do. The
Mm.
most difficult thing about that is the trust is broken. There's betrayal, and that takes a long time to process. They go through a lot of different stages: anger, denial, shock, revenge fantasies. That's a big one.
Right.